What up? Hey, it's Bodhi from iHeartRadio. We are hanging out on the Breaking Benjamin, Five Finger Death Punch, Nothing More Bad Wolves tour with Ben Burnley from Breaking Benjamin. What up, brother?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good.
They just recently found Aerosmith's tour bus. I wanted to ask you this question because we're sitting on your bus right at the moment. They just found Aerosmith's tour bus, their first tour bus.
Wow.
I know, from way back in the day. And, and of course, it's up on cement blocks.
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember your first bus? And if you do, would you have any idea where it is now?
This technically was my first bus. And I remember it. I'll never forget it. Because it was at a time when we shouldn't have been on a bus. So my manager was like, well, I can get you a bus or you guys can go in a van, but the bus is a bit older, because it was back in those budget days, back in the very beginning. So I was like, yeah, a bus, of course, And the bus pulled up, and it was probably Aerosmith's first bus because it was old. It was like all 80s out on the inside, like nothing changed. It was kind of late 70s, 80s out. And it was awesome. I mean, I really enjoyed being on it because it was like really nostalgic. It rode really badly, and it like broke down every day, but yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun to be. It was my first time ever on a tour bus, period, let alone like one that I was using.
Did you hear about any of the history on the bus about previous bands?
Yeah, the driver, he was an older guy. He was so old that like I've toured so much now, so I've been really blessed to have a long career, but back in the beginning, I was kind of scared to ride on the bus, so the guy that was driving it was very old, very, very old. So I'd always like check on him to make sure like he was alive. And that's the truth, because I was scared because
Yeah.
He was just a skeletal old man behind the wheel. And I'm like, this guy's, he's going to die any minute.
3 a.m. and we're out in the middle of nowhere right now.
Yeah. So I was always scared that he would have a heart attack or something. That's mean. That sounds really mean, but it was a legit concern for me. But I'm here, so he did a good job.
Well, thank God you guys are here, man. I mean, you guys are scorching right up the charts again with Torn in Two right at the moment. Congratulations
Thank
on
you guys for that.
what seems to be like another monster hit, and
Thank
we
you
love
guys
playing
for
it.
that.
It's getting a good response
That's
from
awesome.
our listeners and everything. Now, are you the type of individual who do compliments or criticisms stick around with you longer?
Wow, that's a good question. I think neither, because I just do what I do, and people are. There's a lot of bands out there that are bands that millions of people love, but I don't particularly care for. So everybody has their own opinion, and of course, if I feel that way about another band, people are going to feel that way about me. It's just part of the deal. But you play for those who love you, and you play for those who are curious to hear you, and they'll either decide if they love you or not. And that's pretty much all that you really need in life. You can't really attach yourself to praise or criticism, because you just have to be yourself and be true to yourself. And if people follow that, great. And if they don't really attach to that, that's fine too. They'll find something that they attach to.
Now, granted, there was a point between a couple albums where there were about 5 or 6 years in between those albums.
Yeah.
Do you limit the amount of time that you want to spend inside a studio working on any given album? Because, as a way of saying, oh my God, we've perfected this thing as much as possible right now. I don't need to screw around with it anymore. Or are you currently under like a contract with your record label that says, okay, we need a new album within X amount of months?
Yeah, I think there's always a time frame on things that people at the record label, where they have those time frames so they can make a game plan, so that they're trying to do the best for you by doing that as well at the same time. And so we always try to stick to the goals, but when it's done, and the label understands that, and we usually go into everything really prepared before we even put a deadline on it, so it's never really been too much of an issue, maybe a couple of times here and there. But for the most part, we're pretty organized, and we try to plan everything out right.
Breaking Benjamin's on the road right now with Five Finger Death Punch, Nothing More, and Bad Wolves. You guys are headlining the show tonight just outside of Washington, D.C. Have you ever gone past curfew and had to pay a fine for any show?
Not that I'm aware of. Don't jinx it, because we're playing later tonight, so hopefully that won't happen. But
I mean, because those fines can be pretty astronomical, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm unaware if that's ever happened. I hope not, and I'll be a little more paranoid tonight.
Sorry, dude.
That's all good. Now I know.
Well, I know that some stage managers will literally set their clocks 15 minutes early. So
I'll just tell them, just shut it down. No matter what's happening, just shut it down.
10:59, we're out.
All the lights off. It just doesn't even matter if I'm in the middle of Diarrhea Jane. I don't care.
Godsmack was just on this exact same stage with Shinedown a couple nights ago. 10:59, their last note played on I Stand Alone.
They had it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not we are organized, but we're not that organized. So,
have you had a chance at any point over the past couple years to talk to somebody older in our industry that's in the same boat you are, that is a singer, a leader of a band, about sustainability, and what kind of advice did they give to you?
So I think, I don't want to call him old, but the most legendary person I've ever met is Bruce Springsteen.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was really surreal. He was really nice, and he just wished me a long career like he got to have. And I wouldn't really say it was advice, but he definitely was really positive about everything, and just had this allure to him that, just really, I guess his whole career he's known for being like just this really down-to-earth guy, and he really was when I met him. He has a son named Sam that likes the band, so it's not like Bruce Springsteen's I hope he is, but I wouldn't go and say, I wouldn't speak for Bruce Springsteen and say he's a fan or anything. But
chances are he's heard your music, though.
Well, his son Sam liked the band, so he took him to a Breaking Benjamin concert.
Nice.
So it's really cool to like these these legendary artists. They have kids, and then their kids grow up to be teenagers, late teenagers, early 20s, and then they start getting into the music of today, and so they bring their parents to the shows, and it just so happened it was Bruce Springsteen. And so that's pretty much the only like legendary person I've ever met, that and Billy Corgan. But as far as advice and things like that on singing or things like that, I've never really gotten any advice like that. No.
Did you know?
Just have to figure it out on my own hard way.
I think you're doing just fine, though,
Thank
man.
You.
Now, did you guys know that Springsteen was there before you went on stage?
Yeah, I had. I really had short notice of it, so I was really nervous, and I didn't know until not long before I was going to be on stage, and we were standing on the side of the stage talking for a while, like right before the show started, because I'm from New Jersey, he's from New Jersey, so I was talking about that, and that we're both Jersey boys, and stuff like that. So and then I was like, I have to put my in-ear now, and I won't be able to hear anything, but I wish I could stand here and talk to you all night. I said that, and then I put my in-ear in, and I went and played. He's like, dude, I know. He's like, I understand. He's like, I've been there before. I'm like, I know, you have. So he was really cool.
Let me bend your ear for like 3 hours. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I wish. He was really, really cool.
If you want to see a band that has monster guitar riffs and melodic as hell vocals from Ben and a couple of the newer guys in the band, tell me about them real quick.
Yeah, so on the 5-year hiatus, I had a chance to build the band from scratch with, pretty much a dream team of mine. So I wound up actually finding a couple of guys, because Breaking Benjamin albums have a lot of background vocals in them, and the background vocals are really loud on the albums, and they're really important. And you actually have to be a singer to sing background vocals. So I didn't want to find like a guitar player that could get it, do the job and get it done. I wanted to find an actual singer. So instead of finding like a guitar player that sings, I found a singer that plays guitar, and a bass player, same thing. So those two guys, they're so incredibly talented, and they are actual singers. They were singers of their own bands. So I just basically give them the stage and I let them sing a couple of songs because they're really, really amazing, and they have their own fan bases and stuff, and I'm a fan of them, and so they do just an incredible job, and it's amazing for me to be in the band and see other people like doing things exactly the way they're supposed to be done, and it's just an incredibly talented group of guys that I put together. But yeah, Keith Wallen and Aaron Brook, they both actually like sing a couple of songs, leads on a couple of songs now, and that's part of the band now, and that's part of what we are now. And so I'm really, really honored to be able to take a step back and let them kind of show their talent to the world, you know, because it's there and they need to, you know, they need to show that talent that's there.
And during the parts of the set where they're singing, your vocal cords are probably going, oh, thank God.
Yeah, well, I do the backgrounds when they sing, so it still have to be done. So, and then all of the songs that there's a song we do, there's a lot of screaming in it, and Aaron is just like an amazing screamer, so he gets to do all of that. And it's really cool, too, because if he didn't do that song that with the screaming, we wouldn't do it, because I'm not doing that to myself every night. So it's really cool that we're able to do things we wouldn't do on a daily basis because we kind of split the load up a little bit.
Well, Ben, thanks again for the time. I appreciate it, brother. I can't
you.
wait to see you guys freaking nail it out
Thank
on
you
stage
so
tonight.
much.
We're
Thank
so
you for all your
amped up.
support.
No
Love you
problem,
guys.
man. Freaking Breaking Benjamin. BreakingBenjamin.com is the website, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to BreakingBenjamin.com. You'll get all their tour dates and ticket information for this tour. You got to go see it. You will not be disappointed.